You're watching Her Hoops, and today we need to talk about something that quietly shook the entire women's basketball landscape. Because while the cameras were rolling in Durham, North Carolina, while Team USA was back on the floor, while Caitlin Clark was casually draining threes like she never left, she finally said the words everyone's been waiting for: Project B. For months, that name has hovered over the WNBA like a warning sign, a backup plan, a leverage play, a potential earthquake. Fans, players, executives, everybody knew the question wasn't if Caitlin Clark would be asked about it, it was when she'd finally respond. And now she has.
Durham, North Carolina, Team USA training camp that's going on right now. The return of Caitlin Clark. Sort of a WNBA all-star kind of gathering out there.
Caitlin Clark officially slams the door shut on Project B, unrivaled in all of these other leagues. She didn't hold back. She let it be known, I ain't rocking with none of these other leagues. We about to get right so I can cook.
Caitlin Clark looked straight ahead and said it plainly. I plan to play in the WNBA. Full stop. No dancing, no hedging, no media fluff. But here's where it gets interesting and where the real story begins. Because while she shut the door on Project B for herself, she didn't shut the door on what Project B represents. In fact, she did the opposite. She acknowledged something the league has been forced to confront all year. There is real money circling women's basketball right now.
Let's get into the Paige Bueckers Petty Committee, UConn Mafia, going crazy online over this. Okay, you made a shot. She made a shot over Caitlin Clark. First of all, Brick Center, we know y'all petty. They talking about Paige Bueckers cooked Caitlin Clark and talked her trash. She didn't even talk trash.
Real investors, real belief, real urgency. And suddenly, Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie phenom or a walking rating spike. She's become the quiet center of a power struggle the WNBA can't ignore. Some fans wanted her to go to Project B, not because she needs it, she doesn't, but because it would have sent a message, a shockwave message, a reminder that this league does not own her future by default.
As of right now, she is not going, all right? This is the first time she's actually addressed, out of her own mouth, Project B. Okay? So this is interesting because, yeah, she says, I'm going to play in the WNBA, full stop. But she fully recognizes the benefit of there being another league, all right? Now, I've contended, does Caitlin Clark need to go play over there? Nope. She doesn't.
That respect is not automatic, and that leverage, whether spoken or not, still matters. Meanwhile, new Team USA clips drop, and what do we see? Caitlin Clark pulling up from deep, effortless, confident, unbothered, looking like someone who hasn't missed a beat, as her coach put it. So the question becomes unavoidable. If she's this locked in, if investors are circling, if alternative leagues are real, what exactly is the WNBA risking if it keeps dragging its feet? Because Caitlin Clark just reminded everyone, calmly, professionally, and publicly, that women's basketball finally has options.
You previously said that there was no disappointment when you weren't selected for the 2024 Paris Olympics because it gave you something to work toward. Reflecting back on the past year and a half and, making your first senior camp, what does this moment mean for you and why is this the right time for you?
Yeah, I think anytime you can do a USA basketball-related camp, or obviously in my past it's been all junior national teams.
And that changes everything. Stick with Her Hoops, because next we're breaking down how we got here and why this moment is bigger than just one player. To understand why Caitlin Clark's words matter this much, you have to zoom out, way out. This isn't just about one off-season league. This is about timing, power, and a WNBA caught between momentum and uncertainty. Women's basketball has never had more attention than it does right now. Ratings are up, jerseys are selling out, arenas are fuller, and for the first time in decades, investors aren't just talking, they're writing checks. That's the backdrop Project B emerged from.
But a lot of her fans want to go because they believe it would be a shockwave moment for the WNBA, the players and the league, leadership in the league, all across, Kathy, Adam, the Indiana Fever, boom. It would send a jaunting message from her to them, hey,
Not as a rebellion league, not as a gimmick, but as a signal. A signal that women's basketball is no longer dependent on one pipeline. A signal that elite players might finally have options beyond the traditional structure. And when Caitlin Clark entered the league, everything accelerated. Because like it or not, she changed the economics overnight. Road games sold out. Broadcast numbers spiked. Social media engagement exploded. Yet despite all of that, a strange tension followed her from day one. Hard fouls, no superstar whistle, endless debates about respect, and a league negotiating a new CBA while its most marketable star absorbs contact like a veteran enforcer. That's why some fans didn't just want Caitlin Clark to consider Project B, they wanted her to use it as leverage. Not to leave, but to remind the league what she represents. And here's the key part. Caitlin Clark knows this. When she talks about people putting their money where their mouth is, that's not accidental phrasing. That's awareness. That's someone who understands the moment she's standing in. She didn't criticize the WNBA directly. She didn't threaten anything. She simply pointed out a truth the league can't deny anymore. For 25 to 30 years, women's basketball survived on passion. Now, it's entering an era of investment, and investment changes behavior. Meanwhile, at Team USA camp, the visuals tell a different story than the debates online. She's not hesitant. She's not distracted. She's not overwhelmed. She's moving the ball. She's spacing the floor. She's launching from deep like it's second nature. Coaches say she looks locked in, focused, comfortable, which makes the timing of all this impossible to ignore. Because as the league negotiates its future, as alternative leagues test the waters, as fans grow louder about fairness and respect, Caitlin Clark is quietly proving she doesn't need chaos to thrive. And that might be the most powerful position of all. Next, we're breaking down exactly what she said and what she didn't about Project B. Let's slow this down, because Caitlin Clark's comments were careful, calculated, and way more revealing than they first sounded. When she was asked directly whether Project B had contacted her, there was no denial, no surprise, no confusion, because of course they contacted her. If you're launching a new league in women's basketball, Caitlin Clark isn't just on your list, she is the list. And yet, her response wasn't about offers, numbers, or negotiations. It was about priorities. I plan to play in the WNBA. That sentence alone does two things at once. First, it reassures the league. Second, it puts the pressure right back on them. Because choosing the WNBA isn't the end of the conversation, it's the beginning of accountability. Then she pivoted. And this is where people miss the real point. She talked about belief, about how the existence of multiple leagues shows that people finally think women's basketball is worth investing in. About how investors are no longer waiting for proof. They believe the proof is already here. That's not just optimism, that's leverage without aggression. She didn't say Project B threatens the WNBA, she said it proves the value of the sport. And that distinction matters, because now, if the league fumbles the moment, delays the CBA, underpays stars, ignores fan frustration, they can't claim there are no alternatives. Caitlin Clark didn't have to threaten anything. The market already did that for her. Meanwhile, the footage from Team USA camp tells the on-court side of the story. She's not forcing shots. She's not chasing highlights. She's making reads, delivering passes, pulling from deep when the defense hesitates, and punishing them for it. That effortless label keeps coming up for a reason. Great players look fast. Elite players make the game look easy. And that's what we're seeing. When coaches say she hasn't missed a beat, that's not just praise, that's confirmation. Confirmation that all the noise, debates, and discourse haven't touched her game. So here's the breakdown in plain terms. Caitlin Clark chose stability without surrendering power. She backed the WNBA without dismissing alternatives. And she reminded everyone that women's basketball is no longer fighting for survival. It's negotiating its value. That's not drama, that's strategy. And next, we're getting into the uncomfortable part, the contradictions the league still hasn't answered for. Here's where the conversation gets uncomfortable, because Caitlin Clark's calm, professional approach throws a spotlight on contradictions the WNBA still hasn't resolved. The league celebrates growth. It promotes record ratings. It highlights sellout crowds. But when it comes to its most market-moving player, the treatment doesn't always match the rhetoric. Watch the games. Caitlin Clark absorbs contact night after night. Hand checks on the perimeter, bumps off the ball, defenders riding her hip 30 feet from the rim. And yet, the superstar whistle everyone talks about? It's inconsistent at best. Fans see it. Analysts see it. Even opposing coaches quietly acknowledge it. And that's why the Project B conversation won't go away, even after Caitlin Clark said she's staying in the WNBA. Because the issue was never just about money. It was about respect. If the league wants to hold her up as the face of a new era, then the standards have to match. You can't sell star power while allowing that star to be treated like she's still proving herself. Now layer that over the ongoing CBA negotiations. Players want better pay, better travel, better resources. And the fans? They just want to watch high-level basketball without constant controversy. Caitlin Clark saying, "We need to get that done," wasn't a throwaway line. That was a reminder that momentum can stall if leadership doesn't move with urgency. And here's the tension point no one wants to say out loud. If an alternative league can offer elite treatment, global stages, and financial respect, why should players feel locked into one path? The WNBA still has the advantage: history, infrastructure, credibility. But advantage isn't permanent. Meanwhile, Team USA camp shows the contrast. On that floor, Caitlin Clark is just another elite guard, moving the ball, spacing the floor, drilling deep threes. No debate, no drama, just basketball. Her coach calls her focused, locked in, balanced on both ends. That environment feels clean, organized, respectful. And that contrast is exactly what fans are reacting to. Because they're not asking for special treatment, they're asking for consistent treatment. So when Caitlin Clark publicly commits to the WNBA while acknowledging outside investment, it lands differently. It's loyalty, but it's conditional loyalty. Not spoken, not threatened, just understood. The league now knows she's watching. The players know the market is expanding. And the fans know the power dynamics are shifting. That's escalation. And next, we're going deeper into the technical side of her game and why she fits any system in the world. Strip away the headlines, the leagues, the debates, and what you're left with is this: Caitlin Clark's game translates everywhere. That's what makes her position so powerful right now. At Team USA camp, you don't see a player trying to dominate every possession. You see a guard who understands spacing, timing, and rhythm at an elite level. Her shooting range is obvious, but it's the threat of the range that changes everything. Defenders can't sag. Bigs can't stay planted. Help defense arrives a step late. That alone warps entire schemes. But the part that doesn't get talked about enough? Her passing. She doesn't just move the ball, she weaponizes it. Quick reads, one-touch deliveries, skip passes that punish overhelp. When defenses load up on her, she doesn't force hero shots. She creates advantages. That's why coaches trust her so quickly. It's also why she looks so comfortable in a Team USA environment filled with established stars. She doesn't need to be the system. She fits into any system. And defensively? She's smarter than people give her credit for. Anticipates lanes, communicates, competes. That matters when you're evaluating a player beyond highlights. Now add the personal layer. Caitlin Clark understands the moment she's living in. She's not just playing basketball. She's carrying expectation, scrutiny, and symbolic weight every time she steps on the floor. Yet listen to how she speaks. No bitterness, no entitlement, no public frustration. Just clarity. She knows Project B exists. She knows investors believe. She knows her presence changes leverage. But she also knows what stability does for her game. Playing in the WNBA means continuity, structure, A season that allows her to keep sharpening, not scrambling. That's maturity. It's also why her words hit differently than the noise around her. She's not chasing chaos or headlines. She's positioning herself to win long-term. And that's what makes this phase fascinating. Because players who can thrive anywhere don't need to rush decisions. They let the environment prove itself worthy. Right now, Caitlin Clark is doing exactly that. She's not demanding respect, she's earning it in real time. And next, we zoom out again to what all of this means for the WNBA, the players, and the future of the sport. What Caitlin Clark just did, quietly, calmly, and without confrontation, has ripple effects far beyond one player or one off-season league. Because for the first time in modern women's basketball, the conversation isn't about survival, it's about leverage. The WNBA used to be the only destination, the only stage, the only pathway. And for years, players were told to be grateful for that. That era is ending. Project B doesn't need Caitlin Clark to succeed, but the idea of Project B changes the balance of power. It tells players they are valuable assets, not interchangeable parts. It tells investors the audience is real. And it tells the league that progress can't stall without consequences. Caitlin Clark acknowledging that shift, without exploiting it, is what gives her words credibility. She didn't posture, she didn't threaten, she didn't fuel division. She simply confirmed what fans already feel. Women's basketball is finally being taken seriously by people with resources. And that raises expectations. For players, it means better negotiating positions. For the league, it means urgency. For fans, it means accountability. You can't market stars as cultural icons while asking them to wait patiently for basic improvements. You can't celebrate growth while moving cautiously as if nothing has changed. This moment demands alignment. And culturally, Caitlin Clark represents something bigger than highlight reels. She's become a litmus test. How the league supports her, protects her, and elevates her will signal how it plans to treat the next generation of stars. Paige, Juju, future rookies watching all of this unfold. If the WNBA gets this right, it strengthens the entire ecosystem. If it doesn't, alternatives will continue to gain traction. That's not a threat, it's market reality. And the fans? They're more informed than ever. They see the fouls, they track the ratings, they understand the business now. The days of passive support are over. Caitlin Clark didn't start this shift, but she's standing at the center of it. Her choice to stay in the WNBA carries weight precisely because she had other options. And now, the league has to meet the moment she's giving it, because growth without action is just branding. And women's basketball is past the point of branding. It's time for follow-through. Next, we bring it all home. What this moment really means, and where things go from here. This is the part people are going to misunderstand. Caitlin Clark did not reject Project B because she's afraid of change. She didn't stay in the WNBA because she lacks options. And she didn't speak carefully because she doesn't know her power. She did it because she understands timing. Right now, the WNBA still has the spotlight. It still has the momentum. And it still has the chance to shape the next era of women's basketball the right way. But that window doesn't stay open forever. When Caitlin Clark says she plans to play in the WNBA while acknowledging outside investment, she's doing something rare in sports. She's choosing loyalty without surrendering leverage. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. She showed the league respect, and in return, she's expecting professionalism, urgency, and growth. Meanwhile, the basketball speaks louder than any debate. Those Team USA clips? Deep threes, quick reads, no hesitation. She looks like someone who belongs on any floor, in any system, against any competition. And that's the quiet reminder sitting underneath all of this. Players like Caitlin Clark don't need the league as much as the league needs players like her. That doesn't mean she's leaving. It means the league has to rise. The fans see it, the investors see it, the next generation sees it. This isn't about special treatment, it's about consistent standards. It's about matching rhetoric with reality. If the WNBA handles this moment correctly, with fair officiating, a strong CBA, and real commitment to its stars, it comes out stronger than ever. If it doesn't, the market will keep creating alternatives, and Caitlin Clark won't need to say a word. So now it's on the league, it's on leadership, and it's on the future they've been promising. Because the era of just be grateful is over. This is the era of value, and women's basketball has finally earned it. If you want more honest, no-fluff breakdowns like this, make sure you're locked in with Her Hoops. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe, because this story is far from finished. We'll see you next time.